Jersey look is alright. I don't feel tanned enough, but then I'm Canadian. If we tan, that's the first sign of the apocalypse. Oh hey! Hi! It's me! Wilma Fingerdoo, Jerseyed up for RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 4, Episode 4. And you know, I just have to start the episode off the best way I know how, by yelling, Jorge, drink me! Ooh, and look at you with a garnish, making me feel extra special. What is it? Oh, it's a Long Island iced tea for the Jersey Justice theme of this week. All right, let me see how long this island tea is. Oh, well, it's more like a peninsula, if you ask me. Seriously. All right, so we started this episode off by saying bye to Gia, and everyone did it in the most supportive, constructive, and loving way possible. Except for Monique, who clearly just hated poor Gia. And of course, it was no surprise that Trinity also picked Gia, because she doesn't like her. Which surprises me, because if you've seen Gia on social media lately, apparently she and Trinity are like this. Me and Trinity are like this too. This is me. Same when I'm friends. But that said, it'll be interesting to see what kind of backlash Trinity gets for being the orchestrator behind Gia's exodus. It's very dramatic. I need a drink. Ugh, long and tea. Two of my favorite things. Of course, Valentina was thrilled that Gia went home because it meant she got to stay another week. But I just would like to say she didn't seem very gracious about it. Apparently, she said thank you to Manila, but doesn't feel she owes her anything. And all I have to say is mark it down. Episode 4 is when Valentina's veneer starts to crack. I'm just saying, it's just going to get ugly from here on in. I've made a prediction. Just saying. I need a drink after that. Predictions are hard. Of course, Manila didn't escape unscathed. She took some heat from Trinity for flip-flopping on whether or not she was going to send Gia or Valentina home. But I like Manila's little response to that, which is that she hadn't got the rule book on how to vote people off. So it's really just any queen for herself. And good for her. You know, the only reason that any queen doesn't like how another queen seems to be voting is when the first queen can't predict how the other queen is going to vote. Then they worry, then they fret. My attitude is be nice to everyone and do your best every time. Seriously, how hard is that? These teas are going down easy. Either way, Fingerdoo's crossed that Manila's galvanized and focused from here on in, because, seriously, she's not getting younger. Don't tell her I said that. Speaking of galvanized, in the workroom the next day, Trinity finally called Valentina out for living in her own world, mostly due to her unfaltering fashion parade. Although I have to say, I'm making another prediction. I think those are going to go the way of the dinosaurs as well. I think as we get closer to the end, Valentina will just more or less just show up. Well, here's hoping anyway. Seriously. But before any of the queens could add insult to Valentina's injury, there was Ru with this week's Maxi challenge. Jersey Justice. Yes, the girls were going to court, and no one seemed more worried about that than poor Latrice, of course. In season 4, she admitted she had been to jail, which could be hard. Depends which jail. So the queens had to divide themselves up into 3 teams. 2 teams of 2 and 1 team of 3. And this is where Latrice Royale's trip to hell began. I'm so serious. First of all, it's one thing to be in a team of 2. You only have one person other than yourself to outshine. When you're in a team of 3, that's 2 other people you gotta be better for. And no offense to Latrice, but there she was next to the loudest queens of any season of RuPaul's Drag Race, Monet and Monique. Momo is what I'm calling them. Just Momo words and Momo loudness and Momo everything. Those 2 were too much. And I have to say, I'm sorry that Latrice didn't use her time better, because the first thing I would have done if I had been up in a team with these 2 loud idiots not getting a word in edgewise is I would have figured out how to get a word in edgewise. I would have made my bakery a gay bakery that doesn't serve straight people. Or I would have kept telling everyone what a liar she was, and that if there isn't a penis in her mouth, she's telling lies, or I don't know. There's 100 things that Latrice could have done, and she did none of them, I'm so sorry to say. But seriously, what options did Latrice have? I mean, with Naomi grabbing on to Manila, and I swear I saw Valentina push one of the queens by her face out of the way so she could get to Trinity. So really, Latrice's fate was sealed before she'd even started. You know, even that one moment in the workroom when Monique explained to us all what a booty do is, which is hysterical. Let me just say, I thought that was the funniest moment in the whole episode. But seriously, even that little light moment didn't give me any confidence for Latrice, poor thing. I mean, seriously, whether it crossed Latrice's mind at all or she was just scrambling to keep her head afloat, her whole "how about them cakes" scene wasn't her shiniest moment. If Whoopi Goldberg had been on set, she would have said, "Latrice, you're in danger, girl." The best thing I can say about Latrice's performance was that wig. It was so gorgeous. I'm sure it's one of Willam's. Apparently, she borrows them or steals them, or Willam gives them. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. We're not all friends, but it was a nice wig. If somebody knows where she got it, just help me out. I'm just saying. Of course, Latrice's lackluster performance didn't guarantee anything for Monet or Monique. I mean, sure, those two are loud and pull focus at the best of times, but seriously, this was just a train wreck out of the gate. Well, not out of the gate, because Monique didn't do badly. I thought she did really well. Kept in character the whole time, had somewhere to come from with her answers. She had some backstory in the back of her head. She was ready to go. But Monet kind of ran into the room like she was making a salad. She kept tossing words into the air and hoping the good ones would all land in the bowl. Do you know what I'm saying? And I felt that it didn't help Monique, who was the second wordiest person. And of course, Latrice just disappeared totally, which is a hard thing to do to a 6'4" queen, I'm just saying. We don't blend well. Plus, they attacked that poor defenseless cake. I'm so serious. And hungry. Cake. Naomi fangirling all over Manila. Sweet! Manila thinks she wanted to afford Naomi every opportunity to shine. Diabetes. Come on, Manila, it's a competition. I'm so serious. But still, I have to say, out of the gate, Manila's poodle do look for her "you made me look like a bitch" was kind of meh for me. I wasn't that interested in her character. I thought, she was all right, until she started barking near the end. And then that was it for me. Now, something I'd like to say is that I thought Naomi did incredibly well. First of all, that makeup, hilarious. I can't get that face out of my head. I'm so serious. But on top of that, I thought her character was funny. She had great lines. She even made Michelle Visage crack when she made that 5-point star thing comment. So funny. And yet, the judges during deliberation and everything seemed to feel she faded into the background. I mean, I think this is one of those rare moments in the RuPaul Drag Race history where the editing didn't make someone look like a bitch, actually made somebody look like a great actor. Speaking of looking good, I was really impressed with Valentina this challenge. I'm so serious, especially after she came clean about not being able to wing it on the fly. Because I think most people aren't realistic about their shortcomings, and that's when it all hits the hardwood. I'm so serious. Of course, I don't think that Trinity was all that happy to hear Valentina say she has a problem with improv, because, Trinity's everybody's friend until they get in the way of her and that crown. Honey. But Trinity shouldn't have worried about Valentina, because all of Valentina's choices for their scene, I was snookered by Snooki, were delicious. That face, I didn't even recognize it as Valentina. That voice, hysterical. And her physicality, OMG. Clearly, this was a hoe who was rode hard and put away wet. I'm so serious. I have to say that the best thing about Trinity's performance was her forgetting her name off the top. I nearly died. And so did Trinity. But she pulled it back together, and the rest of the scene went flawlessly. In fact, the best thing about her scene was the fight she and Valentina had at the end. Seriously, I think I felt a few of those blows. That one backhand shot that Valentina gave Trinity, I don't know if she pulled her punch there. I'm just saying. So in my opinion for this challenge, who had the best look? Valentina, clearly. Who had the best fight? Well, Trinity and Valentina. And who had the best performance? Well, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say Stacey Lane Matthews. Only because A, I didn't expect to see her again so soon, and B, all of her reactions to everything that was going on were hilarious. So here's to Stacey Lane Matthews. Cheers. Honey. Back in the workroom, the mood was somber, especially since Valentina seemed to lack any energy for her fashion parade. I told you. I said it was coming. That said, Latrice seemed very confident until the other girls started letting her know that she hadn't done that well in the performance. The first one to let her know, Manila, who said she seemed off the top to be holding back, which is friends speak for. You sucked. Seriously. To deflect the judgment, Latrice tried to throw shade at Trinity for forgetting her character's name off the top. But seriously, Trinity forgetting her character's name for a hot second was nowhere near as bad as Latrice's whole performance. I'm so serious. And Trinity spared no time wasting in telling Latrice that by saying, "Where were the jokes?" Clearly, Latrice's biggest joke was thinking she'd done well, which is a shame because I like Latrice. She's in a fantasy world as bad as Valentina's. Even Valentina said to Latrice it wasn't her best performance, but admitted to her that there was nobody in the workroom who was going to vote her dearly beloved butt home. So, in her words, she had nothing to worry about. The one person who had something to worry about was Trinity, because she asked Valentina, well, if it was down to her and Latrice, who would she vote home? Valentina said, I would send you home. I'm not sending Latrice home. What did I tell you? Valentina, well, that's what Trinity called her. Valentina's veneer started to crack a little more in that statement. I'm so serious. And trust me in knowing she's going to tell more than a couple of queens off before this season is done. Seriously. Now, I would just like to point out that this is the exact moment after Trinity and Valentina called Latrice dearly beloved, that Latrice herself said that that's not how she wants to stay on the show. Well, she started singing a different tune very quickly after those judges' critiques, is all I'm saying. Seriously. And then it was time for the queens to hit the runway. Can I just say, this is the best RuPaul's looked on her show for quite some time, for me anyway. I would just like to ask, first off, why wasn't she wearing this outfit last week for the Boots the House Down? Because those are boots, let me tell you right then and there. But seriously, this whole look, she looks good in chartreuse, her hair is gorgeous, her face is beat. Is Raven still doing her makeup? Cheers to everyone. Whoever pulled all of that together, whatever team of minions and helper monkeys had to do all that work, good for you. You all deserve Emmys. So this week's runway category was padded for the gods. First out, Manila in this fabulous outfit, which was padded fabric, not a padded look. But I would just like to say, I didn't like this outfit, first off, until Carson mentioned that it was a tie-in to her French poodle look. And then I thought, okay, there's a Manila twist. That's a outfit worthy of Manila, because it looked good and it was funny and tied into something else. But I was super surprised to hear that this was Manila's second choice. This was not the dress she had planned to wear for Paddington for the gods. This is the dress she had planned to wear. I'm so sorry she didn't wear this. This is gorgeous. It's haute couture, it's provocative, it's art. It is the most hilarious thing and the best outfit for padded for the gods. A pad! I think the producers at World of Wonder missed out on a fabulous opportunity to make some television history. That's all I'm saying. Choices. Naomi Smalls' little Stepford homemaker situation was hilarious and smoking in more ways than one. I also love Trinity's look. And if anyone has a tutorial on how to do a wig like that, would you please let me know? I love that look. I think it's so great. But my only critique of Trinity's outfit was that the big hair and the bigger costume seemed to downplay the extra padding that she put on her body. So that was my only critique. Still, Valentina's runway was brilliant. I'm just so sorry that Erica Ashe didn't like it. Not that I'm worried about Valentina's feelings, which were clearly hurt if you listen to anything she says in the workroom. I'm more worried about Valentina's fans turning on Erica Ashe, misinterpreting her little back lounge outburst against her as a call to attack. Because it's happened before. I'm just saying. Monique's runway was gorgeous. I couldn't get it. It was Lee Bowery meets Dairy Queen, if you ask me. Now, I'm sorry that she's branded herself with this brown cow stunning thing, because I think the only negative thing I had for her look was the brown cow print. It wasn't awful, but I think that dress would have been more exciting in a solid or in varying color. I don't know. That's just me. Either way, she was padded for the gods, seriously. Latrice looked gorgeous, but ironically, she came off looking the least padded. And I think the reason for that is, although this dress was gorgeous, there was no shape to it. It really just went straight to the ground from her hips. I feel like if it had come in at the knee and flared like Monique's dress had, I think this would have accented Latrice's swerves and curves just that little bit more, I'm just saying. Another girl who killed that runway for me was Monet. I loved her Kimmy K look, and I have to say that after the red velvet dress that she wore a couple of episodes ago, this is her best dress. I'm so serious. I hope that the padding comes out of that butt so she could wear it for something else. I'm just saying. But regardless of how well Monique and Latrice looked, it was clear by the judges' critiques that they were in the bottom. Pun intended. And that's when the tears started flowing. I'm so serious. Well, mostly from Manila. She was crushed, as you can understand. But did you clock how quick Latrice started changing her tune from, I don't want to stay because I'm dearly beloved, to, I'm a legend, everyone loves me, I should get to stay. A sentiment that was not shared by everybody. Trinity. The only person that seemed more upset that Latrice was going home than Latrice was Manila, which was odd for me because it made the lip sync not make sense to me. For somebody who was that upset for her friend going home in a competition, I would have tried harder to keep her in. I would have lip synced a little harder. But then I'm getting ahead of myself, seriously. Monet herself shared a tear or two, as you can imagine, because she was upset. She was in the top just recently, now she's in the bottom. And it just seemed like nothing would pull her out of her funk, well, until that titty fart, which was hilarious. And just a note to you baby queens out there, if you're sweaty, a breastplate may not be for you. P.S. Yes, titty fart was my drag queen name in high school. So the general consensus seemed to be that if Manila won, Monet would be going home. And that if Monique won, Latrice would be going home. Which is why, as I said, that whole lip sync confused me. Just saying. But who had time to be confused with Elton John sending personal greetings to everyone? I'm so serious. Do you remember when he and Ru used to do duets? No, it happened. Now, whether or not this lip sync confused me, I would just like to point out that Manila looks spectacular. I love that dress, which is why Monique's outfit confused me, because it looked like fabric, not a dress, fabric, literally pinned around her. And so in my mind, I was expecting some kind of reveal, which she didn't have. But there is no denying that Monique had the energy of Tina Turner, the essence, the core. She was prancing like a little show pony. She never seemed to stand still, shaking her hair. She was giving us everything that we expect from a Tina Turner impersonation. Not that that's what these girls were asked to do or trying to do, but still, clearly by their outfits, they were trying to channel some Tina. Well, I think that Manila's TV set is broken. She didn't seem to channel anybody. She more or less did the same thing she did the week before. But the week before, that worked for her lip sync. This week, though, being cute and girly is not a Tina Turner move. I wish that Manila had really tried a little harder. I wish that she had just gotten down into, thrown her head back and forth a few times or something. And then I would have felt that she'd really given it her all. But if I had been Latrice standing in the back there, I would have been like, that's why she was my friend. I mean, seriously, we're not just talking about saving Latrice, we're talking about $10,000. I'm so serious. So, when the glitter settled, it was Monet who won the lip sync and Latrice Royale, who sadly had to sashay away. And as dearly and beloved as Latrice is, it was her time to go. I'm so serious. I said it last week, she was getting lost in the middle. And this is all stars, not wallow in the middle stars. I'm just saying, seriously. So here's to Latrice. You're still dear. You're still beloved. Just an All-Stars winner, I'm just saying. So there's only 6 girls left. Who do you think's the next one to go home? Well, I think they're all on the chopping block. We're getting to that point. It's all about who wins the challenge. Whoever's in the top 2 are the only guarantees to not be kicked out. And I am just saying that as we get closer and closer to this finale, I feel like anyone who gets in the way of Trinity and Valentina will experience bodily harm, seriously. So, all we can do is wait until next week to watch the next episode. And then when you're done, you come on back and see me, and you and I will compare notes. Till then, miss me! Mwah! Seriously, Jorge. I think we should do a Jersey theme more. I love this one.